Except for I had the fire hose at both ends.
Yeah.
How'd they do that in my son?
They're really good at it. They've got a lot of practice. But I can pretty well tell you the time was when they stopped being a team and started being selfish. They never really recovered after that.
Yeah, 7 minutes here. That was a big comeback.
Yeah, and I mean, they were never that far.
Call the meeting to order. Do we have an invocation?
Almighty God, creator of all things seen and unseen, we pray for this community and families for healing and peace from the tragedies of this past week. We pray for strength and hope for all the losses of our neighbors in Nebraska, Iowa, and Missouri. We pray for this commission and leaders and guide them and everyone with their wisdom and grace to work with one another. In his holy name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any changes to the agenda?
Yes. We will add a proclamation from the Cloud County Health Center.
Okay.
And since Amy's gone, we'll remove it's not on your copy of the agenda, but I updated the agenda to put on the discussion portion of it, the listening tour, and she wants to do that next time. And then we will remove the study session item and have that next time as well.
Okay, thank you.
I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Chuck moved and Sam seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Proclamations, presentations, Cloud County Community College presentation. You're first.
Well, now, how about that? Okay. Good evening, Commissioners. How are you all doing tonight?
Just fine, thank you.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be able to be here to share with you an update on the goings on at the college. This is a busy time for us. We have, in addition to being just a little bit kind of past the middle of our semester and starting the winding down process, we have a lot of other things happening. So one of the things that we have going on is that you all have probably seen in the media, we are starting what we are calling our Cloud Maker, a community workshop. That's our fab lab, or fabrication lab. For those of you who may not be familiar with that, it's a maker space where people will be able to utilize equipment that's in the lab to be able to make things. If people have an idea for a business or need to create a prototype of some sort, they will be able to utilize the Fab Lab space to be able to do that. If someone has an Etsy business and maybe wants to make their trinkets or whatever it is that they sell, they're able to utilize the lab space to be able to do that. So equipment will be there. We are starting the space, though. We're really kind of doing it in phases. We have grand plans to ultimately be able to use it really as an entrepreneurial space. We are really working in line with the direction that our board has set. One of the things is that they want us to move towards working towards providing a skilled workforce for our community. And so as a part of our mission is to prepare students to lead successful lives and to enhance the vitality of our communities. And so this speaks directly to the second half of that mission, and we want to be able to certainly enhance our communities by being able to provide a space that would allow people to make things and hopefully fabricate them and manufacture them here in Concordia. The first phase is that we've cleared out a space, identified a space and gotten that cleared out, and we are just starting with a piece of equipment with the 3D printer and are having meetings. I actually just had one just the other day and talking about getting some other equipment in there. As you all may be aware, there was a group working on this. I don't know if they had a name. I don't know if it was Strategic Doings or something, but they've been talking about the Fab Lab for quite some time, and so we met with members from that group, and we have been meeting with them, with some of them along the way, and so we are looking at how we can incorporate that equipment into our space so that we can continue to move this thing forward. The idea is to get it in there and then be able to hopefully expand with additional equipment and looking at what modifications we might need to make to the space in order to have, if it's a firewall that we need or if it's exhaust things, because there's some woodworking equipment and some sheet metal manufacturing equipment, machining tools, and other things like that I have no idea of how to use, and so I'm hoping to be able to learn something throughout this process. But as we continue to move forward in it, you will hear more about it. We're going to be able to offer memberships for use of the space, and so we're working through all of that, and we'll be providing that information as we move forward with it. Another thing that we're working towards is our Cloud Coding Academy. We are working with that in looking at being responsive to the needs of our workforce. Our technology sector has told us that there is a need for computer coding. They need individuals who have skills. Employers tell us that they want people with a skill set. And so we are being responsive to that and creating programs that we believe will meet those needs. And this one in particular is about computer coding. There is an opportunity to be able to create to get a certificate, an entry-level certificate, and then move on to an advanced level certificate. We are also partnering as part of KBOR. We are allowed to be able to use this Microsoft Imagine, which also gives us the ability to be able to use the, to teach the Word, the Microsoft pieces, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, and to be able to allow people to work through that and earn certifications along the way as well. So that's another piece that we're hoping to be able to advance in this. As we were having conversations about the Coding Academy, that led us to our next project, which is what we're calling Project Cloud for Structure. And Cloud for Structure is really, we started to look and work with the end in mind. We want to be able to ultimately have people be able to live here and work anywhere. A part of our motto with the college is start here, go anywhere, and we want to eventually get to live here and work anywhere. So one of the ways that we're looking at doing that is we've been having discussions and bringing people together to talk about how we get there, what's needed in order for us to be able to provide jobs that people can be rural and remote. How can we have people who work here and live here but are working remotely? Their company may be based in California or Florida or someplace like that, to be able to have them to be here and be a part of our tax base and our community. And so one of the ways that we know that we need to be able to support that is that we need to have the infrastructure. So our idea is that we're hoping to be able to get 10G to our area, and we know that technology is an evolving thing, and so we're trying to prepare for a future of technology that we're not really sure of what it's going to be. And so probably when we get to that point, it will be something else. And so, but we're trying to really look in the future to determine what it's going to take for us to get there. We have really good infrastructure in place. We've been meeting with communication providers. Cunningham Cable has been involved in our conversations. Just recently I met with Twin Valley because we ultimately want to get to where we can service our 12 county service area, which spans about 9,000 square miles. And so, but that's a really large undertaking as we started talking about this project. And so we realized that it's a combination of providers, and they have to work together because they each have areas and that sort of thing. And so we decided to go out of the gate. We're just going to look at at Cloud County. And that still involves multiple providers, but they have already been working together in different aspects to come together. And so each one that we've spoken to so far are very willing and excited about this project. We actually have a meeting about it tomorrow, and those providers will be there, as well as I believe our mayor will be joining us. We have some industry partners there from the technology sector. So we've tried to bring together people from different areas that can help us be able to look at this, because it kind of got started with what our needs are at the college. We need internet. Our students seem to eat it, drink it, sleep it. I mean, they just can't get enough. And so we're trying to be able to prepare, you know, for them and their needs. We know that we need more access points, but we also know that we're not prepared for what's behind the walls. And so we're trying to get that, you know, fixed and see where we need to go with that. And so this is kind of a part of the larger parts of those conversations. And so we're trying to prepare. And so we've asked the USD to consider how they might be able to use and benefit from this idea of 10G, as well as the hospital. And so we're all coming together, the city coming together to be able to see what we think that our needs might be, so that we can holistically prepare for that. So that is an ongoing project. It is continuing to move forward. I wanted to say, I think that's some of the main things, but I think I had something else. One thing is that we are preparing for a community service day sometime when it gets warmer, which I'm not really sure when that's ever going to be. Can anybody tell me?
You want warm and dry, or you want just warm?
I prefer warm and dry.
Okay, okay.
Am I into June? Is that June?
I mean, if you want to come back in June and talk about it.
You're going to be that picky.
I'm being particular, so you know. But we want to do that, and so that is, we're working through what that's going to look like. And so we are planning to have our entire college community out in the community, our faculty, staff, and students, with various projects. And so we plan to work with the senior center to see if there are seniors who may need things done, probably something on the highway, just whatever we feel the needs are, we find the needs are. We'll have a day of service that we will be looking to address that. Just briefly, I know that from one of the listening sessions that there was a question about the college community involvement. And so I know that we have been very intentional in being more involved in the community. And so I asked my staff to share with me things that they have done in the past few years. And so I made just a list for you guys, just in case you're ever asked this again. And it encompasses quite a bit. It ended up being about 4 pages. So, can I pass that to them? Here, I'll give you. There you go. Thank you. There's an extra one for you too. But if you take a look at that, I'll leave it with you. But it is a kind of a comprehensive list of, broken up into categories of boards that we serve on, which there are about 20 there. Some sponsorships and donations that the college has done, events that we've hosted at the college, and ways that our students and staff volunteer. So you can see that there are lots of things happening there, and we're very proud of the service that our employees contribute throughout our community. And you will be able to see that it's a pretty vast list. Mm-hmm. So I will stand for any questions that you all may have.
Any questions?
Something that that probably is maybe helpful for other folks too. When I first heard mention of the 10G, I was confusing it with, you know, comparison to mobile, you know, where you had 4G and then now we're pushing 5G, and doing a brief bit of, you know, Dr. Google searching. Was interested to find out that the 10G that you're talking about with broadband is more of looking at a 10 gigabyte per second Ethernet speed. So that was helpful for me to kind of be able to tell the difference. You know, 10G sounds like this way out there science fiction thing, but when you look at it as a broadband speed, it is kind of on the horizon, the next thing. So it makes a lot more sense to me in regards to the cloud for structure, and I'm looking forward to seeing where the working group goes, and I think that there's a good opportunity, especially to see more and more folks working remotely. I think it's a great opportunity to try to push towards.
Absolutely. We thought it was important, too, as we think about our aging population, and we're looking at ways that we can be attractive to people. You know, there is, at the national level, conversations about rural communities, and we want to be a part of that. So we want to be on that radar, and we want to position ourselves so that we can be attractive. And so maybe people will be like me and come and find this small town compared to Dallas and fall in love with it. So that's what we're hoping. So we just want to be able to do our part to help contribute to that as much as we can as a college.
Okay. Thank you, Dr.
All right,
Douglas.
thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Alcohol Awareness Month proclamation.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Thank you for allowing us to come before you. I'm Janet Eubanks, Chairman of the Chemical Dependency Committee. And I have a few members with me. Doyle Reed is here. Rick Frederickson actually serves on the committee. And Chuck Lamberts is a member also. Just a little bit of background about the committee. We actually get our funding from the state, and it's from alcohol tax that's collected in Cloud County. And the state gives a portion of that back to us. Our mission is to provide alcohol and drug intervention, treatment, prevention, and education for the citizens of Cloud County. Some of the things that we do, just real quick, some of the projects we've supported, indigent counseling in the county, we support that. We do after proms. We have had, the last few weeks, we've had a lot of requests for funds to support those projects. After graduation, Doyle Reed actually is very active with the Freedom Board here in town, the Freedom Club, and so we support a lot of their activities. We have Prevention and Recovery, the Drug Recognition Program. CASA comes to us, and we support a lot of their activities. The Children's Theater here at the Brown Grand, we help support that. We do designated driver programs on New Year's Eve. We support the Red Ribbon Program. Last year we did town hall meetings in all the communities in Cloud County to support alcohol awareness. And then the National Night Out here in town, we've supported that. And just various presentations at the different college, at the high school. We've had presentations on bystander intervention. We've done drug awareness, trending drug presentations that have come in, because if you don't know about it, you don't recognize it, you can't deal with it. So those are just some of the things that we do in the community, and we think it's important to bring some awareness during April for alcohol awareness. And Chuck, I didn't know, do you want to say a few words, or?
Sure. I haven't been able to be as involved in the last few years as I'd like to be, but I feel very honored to be a part of that. One of the things that we know, probably all of us in this room are aware of how destructive substance use can be on the well-being of a family, and it's really, I think, important to, and one of the benefits of the alcohol tax dollars is to come back to a community and invest in substance-free activities and working towards education and those kind of things. So I think it's really important to be able to support the Cloud County Chemical Dependency Committee and to see the work that they do. One of the comments that was made to us in the listening tour was a concern that there are sometimes events that are promoted as BYOB, and wish that there were more events promoted as substance-free. And it was kind of an awareness for me that there are so many events in this community that are very specifically substance-free, and that we don't necessarily market them as such, but that there are a lot of activities like the National Night Out, the After Proms, the movie nights at the Plaza, Easter egg hunt, these kind of things that are really going on in our communities that are very family-focused, family-oriented, working towards being able to provide the opportunities for folks to get together in a safe, sober, clean environment, and also offering opportunities for folks who are trying to leave a life of substance use, being able to have activities to engage in that are free of that are really, really important for us to be able to try to provide opportunities for those community members. So it's a great program. It's a great opportunity for folks to get involved. I know there's no shortage. We could always use more help. So if anyone's interested, I'm sure Janet would love to have you on board.
Yes.
as
And once
we
I
all
get your
would.
name, you're on my list.
So, but it's a great program. So.
Thank you, John. Again, just thank you, commissioners. Doyle, did you want to say anything, or I hate to get him started, but.
I've been a member of the Freedom Board there ever since it started here. A few of us got together and started a nonprofit organization, and our purpose was to have a meeting place that is specifically designed for 12-step meetings, which would be AA, NA, Al-Anon, Nar-Anon, over years anonymous, and then we got enough money and we got a building purchase, and we have got money from the alcohol from the committee, and what we use it for is literature. So we have to, a lot of people, usually by the time you get to us, you're not in real well standing. And we have literature that we could give away, and it really helps. And then we've had some other activities that to give people something to do. So we always try to have a place for people to go. We have New Year's Eve parties, and of course they're alcohol free. And so if anybody ever had any more questions about it, please feel free to ask me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your eyes better.
Yeah.
All right, so again, thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Okay. I'll read the proclamation, Cloud County Chemical Dependency Committee. Proclamation, April is Alcohol Awareness Month, whereas excessive drinking is responsible for more than 4,300 deaths among underage youth each year, and whereas alcohol is the most commonly used addictive substance in the United States, and whereas more than 1.6 million young people report driving under the influence of alcohol in the past year, and whereas young people who begin drinking before the age of 15 are 4 times more likely to develop alcohol dependence than those who begin drinking at age 21. Whereas drinking by persons under the age of 21 is linked to 189,000 emergency room visits. And whereas a typical American will see 1 million beer commercials before he or she turns 18. And whereas kids who drink are more likely to be victims of violent crime, to be involved in alcohol-related traffic crashes, and to have serious school-related problems. Whereas a supportive family environment is associated with lowered rates of alcohol use for adolescents. And whereas kids who have conversations with their parents and learn a lot about the dangers of alcohol and drug use are 50% less likely to use alcohol and drugs than those who don't have such conversations. Therefore, I, Mark Matthew, now join the National Council of Alcoholism and Drug Dependence, Inc., and do hereby proclaim that April 2019 is Alcohol Awareness Month in Concordia, Kansas. As the mayor, I also call upon the citizens, parents, governmental agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, hospitals, schools, and colleges in Concordia, Kansas to support efforts that will provide early education about alcoholism and addiction and increase support for individuals and families coping with alcoholism. Through these efforts, together, we can provide hope, help, and healing for those in our community who are facing challenges with alcohol use and abuse. May it be so decreed. Thank you. Thank you, Janet. Appreciate it. Donate Life Month proclamation.
Good evening. My name is Pam Campbell. I work at Cloud County Health Center. I've been there for a few years.
Not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm close to retirement. Anyway, the main part of my my talk here was the proclamation, but Mayor Matthew, if you want to read it, no, it's not on there.
It's not on there?
I didn't.
Sure, I can read it.
Thank you, Stacy, for allowing me to, because that's mainly what I have. I also do have an invitation to everyone to come to the flag raising ceremony, which is next Thursday, April the 11th at 9:30 a.m. That will be at Cloud County Health Center around the flagpole. One year it was raining pretty good, so we stood in the lobby and watched maintenance raise the flag. So if that's the case, that may be what we do. Did you want
Sure.
to read this?
Yeah.
Okay. I do have some gifts for you as well, if that's allowed.
For reading?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, here, you can have invitations.
Only if I do a good job, right?
You get an A+, no matter what.
Okay.
And here's- so you guys-
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Pam.
Proclamation, whereas organ donation is a selfless gift that has saved more than 32,000 lives across the country, and whereas Midwest Transplant Network, our local organ procurement organization, serves all of Kansas and the western two-thirds of Missouri, where nearly 2,500 people await life-saving transplants, and whereas the mission of Midwest Transplant Network is to save lives by honoring the gift of organ and tissue donation with dignity and compassion. And whereas the number of people on the organ transplant waiting list continues to far exceed the number of registered donors. And whereas 95% of our country's population supports organ donation, but only 54% are registered as donors. And whereas Cloud County Health Center encourages individuals to become aware of the need for organ donation and to register an organ, eye, or and tissue donor. Therefore, I'll change David to Mark.
So sorry.
That's all right. That's my grandfather, David. Therefore, I, Mark Matthew, Mayor of Concordia, Kansas, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2019 as Donate Life Month in Concordia, Kansas, to honor all those who have made the decision to donate life, to focus attention on the critical need for donation, and to encourage all Kansas residents to register as organ, eye, and tissue donors.
So glad you read that. Now you know how old I am, because I'm thinking of your grandfather.
And my uncle and my cousin.
More the cousin, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What
are you laughing so hard for, Toby? Talk to you later. Thank you, Pam.
Yes. Are you going to sign with the Donate Life? Yeah.
Sure.
I forgot to mention, Dallas Strait, Director of Nursing, with me too for support, and she did a good job passing out. She said
Thank
she
you.
had nothing extra to say, so I'm not supposed to ask her if she has anything.
Stacy, I'll need to sign the other proclamation. Stacy? Do you have the other proclamation to sign, or? Okay.
Is there a Cloud County Health Center proclamation?
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay. This time we'll have public comments. This is the time where citizens are encouraged to speak publicly. We request that you come to the podium, state your name and address, speak respectfully, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Do we have any public comments? Okay. Agenda, do we have any agenda discussion items, Stacy? Okay. Action agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the March 20th meeting?
So moved.
Sam made the motion. Do I have a second? Second by Keaton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Appropriation ordinance number 6. Do I have a recommendation for approval? Motion?
I move to approve appropriation ordinance number 6.
I have a motion from Christie. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Keaton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Frank Carlson Library Board appointment. Sue?
Denise.
Denise, I mean, Sue. I saw Sue's name.
Well, I'm Denise DeRochefort Reynolds.
Yeah, I know.
Tomorrow.
I looked down and saw Sue's name, I'm going,
I was gonna say, you told me you attended, but
yeah.
Well, usually this is a pro forma situation, but since I was invited by Amy Lang to come this evening, I just want to thank you so much for the thoughtfulness that you have shown over the years in making appointments to the library board. The library board consists of 7 members who are appointed by the city commission because this is what the state statute says that we are supposed to do. And the mayor serves as an ex officio member of the library board, and I know several of you have been regular in your attendance, and it's been a real pleasure. The library board, or the public library, serves the entire community. And right now we have 2 people who have, well, Scott Henderson has served 8 years, 2 consecutive terms, and he is not eligible for reappointment. He has served as our treasurer for 7 of those years, and his expertise will be sorely missed by the library board. Because that position is open, I have been asked by the library board to request that you consider appointing Lindsay Metcalf to a 4-year term beginning May 1st of this year. Lindsay has twice filled out an expression of interest form. She's quite eager to serve, and I think that if you would consider her, that would be a benefit to the library. Sue Gustafson has served 1 term. She is eligible for reappointment, and I hope you will consider allowing her to continue on the library board. Very quickly, the library board members that you have appointed really do represent our community. Our community, our library serves a community that is made up of people of all ages, all interests, all educational attainment, and all occupations, and our library board reflects that. And I thank you very much for keeping that in mind. We have on the board retired people. Sue is one of those people, Sue Gustafson. Also a retired educator, Janice Swenson, now serving. We have Jamison Gross, who is an instructor of agriculture at Cloud County Community College and a very important link between the public library and the college community. Lindsay Metcalf she has a young family. She would represent that part of our community on the library board. So again, I just want to thank you for considering this, and hopefully you will make those appointments. Thank you.
Okay.
Any questions?
No.
No? All right.
Thanks, Denise. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move to appoint Sue Gustafson and Lindsay Metcalf to the Frank Carlson Library Board.
Second.
Have a motion from Christie and a second from Chuck. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
I think Lindsay will be a great addition. I know she's very passionate about literacy and writing, and I think a great recommendation.
Okay.
Sue does a great job anyways.
Federal funds exchange approval.
Mayor and Commissioners, Federal Fund Exchange Program is where the KDOT allows you to take your federal funds and exchange them for KDOT funds, and you receive 90% of the money. If you remember last year, it was 75-25, so they changed it back to the way it was. The amount of funds that we have to exchange is $61,412.67, and out of that, we would receive $55,271.41, Amber says.
Yeah, Amber
Me and
says.
her are a penny off.
Oh, okay.
My note said 40 and hers.
It's a better percentage than the last year.
You can be
Yes,
sure
it
the
is.
state's gonna take,
Brownback changed that back after that was all
Can put it
done.
in
That
the
was a
general
rip-off
fund.
last year.
Yes.
there's a difference in a penny, the state will get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna be in the ballpark there somewhere,
Okay.
so. Recommendation on that would be to have the mayor sign the, federal fund exchange
Now, these are the
program.
funds from our State Street project, State Street and College.
That's what we're gonna use
Yeah.
to get the funds, the
Yeah,
money back
get
from.
that money back, okay.
Yes. And then, next year, we can use the one that like,
For
for,
Archer.
Archer Street.
Yeah, okay,
So if we keep it moving, we can keep getting the money back, and it helps out this stuff too, so.
okay. Any questions or discussion?
I would move to approve the exchange for the federal funds in the amount of $61,412.68.
Second.
I have a motion from Keaton and a second from Sam. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Ron.
Ron.
Approval of demo program application for 403 East Fifth Street. Bruno?
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, if you remember, this was a house that was damaged by a fire 2 years ago now, March of 17, and we actually ran it through the condemnation process about a year ago. And then it exchanged hands. They asked for a 90-day, and then right at the last minute exchanged hands. I did talk to the new owner at that point in time, and he was working towards getting it on the demo program, and that's why we're here now today. Now, I do have another bid that got nixed out of the packet by mistake, and it was just a text message bid for $9,500, and it was from Jensen Earthworks, and it got confused with Jensen Ag Services, but it was for $9,500. I have it right here. It didn't make it into the packet if you guys want to look at it.
Okay.
But anyway, the low bid was Jensen Ag Services for $8,500, and that was sent 3 or 4 days before on the 25th, and this other bid was the 19th, so
So this was received in timely fashion and
Oh,
everything?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
it came in with the application. It just never made it to the packet.
And this was the low bid?
No,
No, this-
that was the high one. The
that was
low
high.
bid was the Jensen Ag Services for
okay.
$8,500, and that's
Okay.
what I'm recommending, that we
Okay,
accept it into the program
Okay.
for that and authorize Amy to sign the contract.
okay. Any questions, discussions before? Do I have a motion?
I'd move to accept 403 East Fifth Street into the demo program and reimburse the owner $38.50 upon completion.
I have a motion from Chuck. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Keaton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, thank you, Bruno.
Thank you.
That, all right. Okay. Managers' reports? None? Okay. Staff reports? You were just up here.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
Amy asked me to tell you about the potholes.
Oh, okay.
So, they're coming along pretty good. We're actually, it looks like we've been around several places, so I'm not gonna say we're half done, but we're working on them.
Well, I've noticed, just driving around town, a lot of the ones I really noticed before are already patched.
Yeah.
And so I think everybody's doing a great job.
We started out just mainly doing the ones where the people were driving. I know I'm gonna have to go back over all of that
Yeah.
stuff yet. Yesterday, we tore out 6 holes and full depth repairs, like on 13th Street and up over here on 11th and out on 7th Street. We got more of them we're gonna do tomorrow. I probably got 20 or 30 of them to do.
There's a lot of stuff on 9th Street, I noticed.
Yeah, we got a lot of them patched.
Yeah.
East 9th.
Yeah, East 9th.
Yes.
Yeah,
Got that. So, it's coming along pretty good.
okay.
What else? Oh, yeah, spring cleanup starts next week. And I've noticed a lot of people are already starting to trim their trees and get things set out. I've seen a lot of stuff set out already, so the word's out there.
Yeah. I noticed a lot of really big tree removal stuff on some streets, like up on Hill Street.
Yeah.
When is
Yeah, that was one that somebody called in, they wanted a tree trimmed up, and the guy decided, well, we got spring cleanup. He kept the wood and he piled all the stuff out there, so
Yeah,
it's helping both people.
yeah.
When is the final day to have stuff set out?
Well, I'd like to have it all set out on this coming Monday coming
Okay.
up. But what I've seen in the past, usually after we go past places, people will be calling us and we'll have to go over the town a couple, 3 times and make sure everything's done. So I know some people will see us and then they'll set stuff out again, so we'll just keep doing it until we get done.
Okay.
I know, give Jeremy a little credit on this. He's gonna be helping me do this year, so I can keep right on patching.
Good.
So,
Appreciate it.
and I'm gonna have, I won't be able to run all my trucks, but I'll give him like 3 trucks to run, and then I got the other ones so I can be doing potholes and stuff still.
Okay,
Good.
Okay?
all right, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other staff reports? Mayor and commissioners. Sam?
Nothing.
Ron, I didn't know, I don't know if we could get, or should get some barricades up on Hill Street at about 13th. I mean, the road's pretty chewed up there, as you kind of, I don't even know what that cross street is.
13th.
Yeah.
13th and Hill is where Jim Metro used to live up, between 12th and 13th. We'll put something up there.
Yeah, it's pretty,
I know I talked to him about cutting that out. I know tomorrow we're gonna be on West 11th doing that, going down Elmhurst, so.
that's fine, it's,
Just put one up there tomorrow.
it's interesting when my 7 and 5-year-old, 4 and a half, know how to say I hate potholes. And, it's been a pretty rough winter. I'm not at all surprised to hear that Jeremy and his crew are going to be helping out. But I did want to take a minute just to say I think just continually impressed with the level of collaboration and cooperation that our city staff have, and being able to step up and fill in different duties. And I think it's one of the greatest testaments to the dedication that you have to this community overall, and also to your careers. Being able to step up like that, I really appreciate that. It makes everything work better, and it's a better use of taxpayer money. But it's just a great spirit, and really appreciate you're all doing that. So, thank you.
I'm just amazed and proud of Kansas and this community in this area and people all across Kansas at all of the relief work and all of the things that were brought together to send up to Nebraska for aid from all the flooding and stuff. Then I read that story in the paper about the lady that bought out the Payless shoe store and sent stuff up. It's just the kind of people we are, and it's just amazing how people step forward and some people you think, oh, they're not the type to do it, and then you witness what they do, and it's all around us, this flood, and it's, things aren't over with yet, but I have a lot of friends and relatives up in Nebraska, and one of the towns that I used to live in was really, hit pretty good, and it's just, I just want to say to the public and to this area, thank you, and it's very impressive, and so.
I don't have anything this evening.
I have nothing to add.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Oops.
Amber wants me to talk about the pool slide.
Careful, it's a slippery slope.
What do we call that slide? We did get the main footing poured that's underneath the pillars that come up, and the pillars only come about 1.5 inches out of the sidewalk, so we got the main floor poured, and that was a foot thick. 2 rows of 5/8 rebar on 1-foot centers in there. And the pillars coming up, we got 1-inch rebar coming up and them holding the pillars, and they're 30 inches around. So I'm
Shouldn't go
hoping,
anywhere.
I hope not. I'm hoping tomorrow maybe to get that formed up and hopefully pour them pillars, maybe Friday morning. Then next week get back in there and start doing the electrical work and the plumbing that I had to take out to put this thing in. And then within a couple weeks after that, I'll get it all graded and then pour the slab work. I'm hoping to have it all done by the 25th of April. That'd be my goal. But
We should have it done by August when it gets warm.
definitely have it done by then.
Cautiously optimistic with Dr. Douglas's June expectations.
No, I did.
No promises.
Yeah, I'll just say the 6th of May is when they're coming in to set it. Yeah, that's the first full week of May.
They think it'll take just about a week to put it up, or are we anticipating being a little later into the pool?
It's probably just something they can come in and set them pillars on top of there, if I got all my bolt patterns right and everything, and put it all together.
For adjustments. Thanks, Ron. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Christie.
Second.
I have a motion from Chuck, a second from Christie. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you, everyone.